All right, welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good holiday and a happy new year. Time to get back to work because we got some stuff done. All right. Stuff pretty much dried as hard as a rock. That's not going to work for what I'm looking for it to do. So I bought some rubber foam. It's about 1 inch wide, but it's 5/16 inches of a thick, and it's a relatively low compression. So I'm hoping that that'll provide a seal here. I'm going to play with it a little bit and see if I think it's going to work. Also have the pop rivets here. I'm going to get ready to put on the front cap or the top cap to the windscreen, and then look at putting the windscreen in. Got the cap for the windscreen here. Got all my pop rivets in place. And I just have that weather strip in here. Seems to work fine. It's going to compress just fine. Again, when I took it off, there was a piece of mastic under here, so I'm trying to recreate that. No real magic here. So my concern is that I'll have to get it tight on there. So when I'm going to pop rivet this thing, I just got to be careful that I don't get it crooked or anything like that, and try to get it relatively flat. So I'm going to go ahead and pop rivet it up. So what I'm trying to do is get all the pop rivets seated in the holes first, or at least through. Find all the holes that are already in the windscreen top so that I don't have any alignment issues or anything like that. This hole over here doesn't seem to be fitting, unfortunately. So what I did right there is I screwed this snap in. The soft top goes there. I don't have the screw for the other side, and the screws that I do have are too big, and I'm afraid I'm going to blow out the hole, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead, push down on this as good as I can, pop rivet it in, and just slowly make my way across. Now another thing that you really can't see here, and I already screwed it up, is all that vinyl trim that I put on there. It needs to be on the inside of this, and I missed a little corner over here. Take this one out and switch to the other side. Ouch. Alright, not too bad I don't think. So I'll get another thing for over here. I don't remember what goes there. And this one here, the holes that are in the windscreen frame were smaller than the pop rivets and everything else, so if worse comes to worse, well, not if worse comes to worse, but obviously I can just drill that out. But what I'm afraid of is there's something that goes there that I don't remember. So I'm going to go ahead and hold off on putting anything here. I don't remember anything that goes there at all. I think there might be a piece of trim or something under there. I got to look at that. But I do have the black cards up in my attic, so I'll be able to verify everything, and then I'll worry about these on the edges here at a later date. So for now, in case you didn't know, the hard top fits under here. This doesn't have the regular soft top cage like the more modern cars start with the Mark IIIs. So there's a little lip under here, and there's a metal bar in the Mark II and Mark I soft tops that kind of clip in underneath of that thing. So there's no easy going with taking this top in and off and on. Last thing to do here is I've got rubber grommets that go in those holes there. These holes are for the hard tops. I don't have a hard top, so I'm just going to go ahead. They get the little rubber grommets. I'm going to go ahead. I got the original ones that are still in good shape, so I'm going to put them back on. So obviously I have the windscreen here. I'm going to play with it a little bit. I really don't expect to get this thing in. You essentially take a piece of shot line, which is what this stuff is, or nylon cord. So I wanted to use something that was a little thicker to try to prevent me from cutting into the rubber seal. I have tried this before. Originally, back before I started any restoration whatsoever on the car, and I ended up tearing the rubber, so I'm a little sensitive to that. But essentially you have this channel here, and what you do is you feed the cord inside that channel all the way around and cross the streams at the end, and then as you work your way across, it's best to be a two-man operation. As you pull the string, that opens that lip up, and it pulls the lip up and over the windscreen frame and kind of snaps it in almost. So all I'm going to do right now is go around and feed the shot line through all this stuff and try to get that proper. Now there's two pieces to this. You got the flat one that goes on the outside of the windscreen, and then the tight one is the inside one. That's the one where you need to feed the shot line in. The trick here is to get it lubricated really well, Sil Glide the heck out of it, get this string all lubricated and everything like that to minimize the amount of friction, obviously, to try to ease the pull. So I'm going to go ahead now and just make an absolute mess in here with the Sil Glide, get this string all lubricated up and get it fed through. Well, because I'm stubborn, I'm not going to wait here on the windscreen. I think we can maybe get this puppy in. So you can see that I've started to feed it across here. Remember, the ropes were crossed. What I've seen and what I've researched is you essentially work your way across the bottom, try to get around the corner, and then start to make your way up. And as you go, I'm going to be pounding on the outside of the screen with the flat palm of my hand to make sure that I can try to keep it flat and keep it true. I'll even use a mallet, I'll use the mallet maybe, but around the seal, not, you know, in the flat of the windshield. Now I got a couple concerns here. One is you can see space in here. That's obviously not going to fly. But you can see about the same amount of space over here. So I'm hoping I'm going to get some flex. I don't see how the glass can flex, but this is the same glass that came out of the car with the same windscreen frame, so obviously it fits. But I'm just going to slowly and easily make my way across. If it starts to get too tight or start to get too nervous, I'll stop. It'll come off a lot easier. It's pretty lubricated, so I'm not too worried about tearing anything unless I really try to get aggressive with it, which I'm not going to do. And how many times have you said that and ended up messing up paint or whatever else? So we'll see. If the camera looks a little bit crooked to you, it is. This tripod has been crooked, I think, since I bought it. So I apologize for that. What it looks like has happened is the windscreen's getting pushed up, and that's obviously not going to work because eventually I'm going to come around and it's going to pop up. So again, so what's happened is the windscreen's just lifted right up on me. So I'm going to try this again. What I'm trying to do now is, as I work it across, beat on it and push beat down on it. And again, really, as long as the rubber seal doesn't tear, I don't think I really care. Do this all night. And you can see, you can probably see the top. Let me see. Yeah, you can pretty much see the top of the windscreen just poking out up there. trying to do is feed this around on the outside with the orange stick. If you don't have an orange stick, get one. This is where I'm worried about making this turn up here. That piece of shit's gonna get it. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, very long time, car has a windshield. That's a milestone, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Put the weather stripping on the seal that goes on the bottom of the windscreen frame in preparation for going on the car. So I got the seal on the top and then the seal down here as well. And it's the same stuff, collapsible, weatherproofing foam. So hopefully that doesn't get in my way too much, but it should collapse enough, I think, that it should be tight enough. All right, got the windshield cleaned up a little bit. This is just Sil Glide stuff. You can see here, I think, there is some wiper rash, but none on, there's minor on the driver's side. I think I might give a shot to putting the chrome finisher on it. I'm going to have to use a bunch of Sil Glide again. I'm not expecting this to go real easily, especially around these corners here. I'll stick the orange stick in there to kind of help me a little bit get around those. These are a little bit more open down here. I'm not going to work too hard on that. Again, I don't want to cause any damage. You can also see here, this is nice, sitting nice and flat here, but as you come closer and closer, it starts to curl under, and it just kind of tells you that the windscreen's not totally set down. I've got the ends tight, but the center is not tight. Now I have not installed if you can see that the little red hook in there, I have not installed that yet because up there are the little tonneau cover clips that forgot to paint them. So I gotta wait on those. My concern is that I go to tighten those down and I'm gonna start cutting into the dashboard. So I'm not gonna go crazy on that stuff. I have a feeling that if I do and try to get it really, really tight, I'm gonna cause some damage to the dash. I don't want to do that. There's definitely, there's that one gap that I was mentioning right there on the vinyl. There's a couple other gaps where you can see I obviously, looks like I got some vinyl on the wrong side of the rubber here. I can go around and fix that real quick. So I'm going to try the finisher piece, fix those couple pieces here, and keep going. Got the chrome finishing piece in right up into the point where I didn't. So unfortunately, trying to make this curve here, I went a little too aggressive with the bend and snapped it. That's a real tight corner in there for this thing. So, plus the thing has been sitting rolled up forever. But they're readily available. They're plastic, obviously not metal, but I'm not sure if you can even get metal ones. I'll have to look into it. But better than nothing, I guess. So I'll be getting a new piece, one of those eventually. But I'm gonna leave it in for now, just to kind of keep these spaced out and put some memory in it so that it's not quite so hard next time, hopefully. So yay, milestone moment, yay! cut back the dash a little bit in the corners. I did, and then towards the edges, I was afraid of cutting into the paint, and also I've got to get it glued up there, and it's just a little too close for comfort right now. I might have a lead on getting vinyl, unbacked vinyl, and the original pattern. I'm kind of waiting. Not the form-fitted stuff, unfortunately. I haven't been able to locate any of that, but I may get lucky here and be able to get some vinyl and maybe cover the dash like it's supposed to be covered. We'll see how that goes. And I also have a feeling, I got to look at old pictures of the car, but I have a feeling that this in here and down on this was supposed to be in vinyl. So I got to check on that. So now that the windscreen is mostly installed, I'm going to move on to something else. I've got the, if you can see it in there, the transmission or the radio support tower, I should say, and that's what essentially goes over top of the transmission tunnel and supports and connects the dash to the body there on those screws, and on the screws on the dash up under there. And it just prevents flex and stuff like that as the car moves down the road. But that's got to get cleaned up and wrinkle coated, and so I'm going to go ahead and blast all the paint off of that, the old wrinkle coat, get that done. And then for the rest of the day, I think this is sound editing stuff. This is Noiko, or however you say that. Country of origin is the Russian Federation. I don't think I've ever bought anything from Russia, at least not with knowing about it. This is 2mm. I got 36 square feet in here, way more than I probably need for the car. I could have bought an 18 square foot pack, I think, but I went with the 36 just in case. And I also have, this is heat and sound insulation. I'm going to use this for the transmission tunnel, which I don't have here. I only got 18 square feet of this, and that's all I'm really going to do with that from the heat wise. So the stuff is it's pretty heavy. This is 3 sheets, I think, and this probably weighs 10 pounds or so. So I'm going to go ahead and obviously I need to get the car cleaned up and get all the surfaces prepped and all that, and then we'll come back and start playing with that. Got the dash support here, all sandblasted. It's made out of aluminum. So now I'm going to hit it with 1 coat of primer, and then I'm going to go ahead and let that cure up, let that dry up, and then I'll hit it with start with the wrinkle coat. This is the first place that I'm going to put the sound editing stuff. This is on the heel board above or behind the seats. This had soundproofing stuff originally, like a heavy tar kind of stuff, but that and the doors were the only places originally that I know of. The inside of the doors are still in good shape. So you can see here I've got some paper and I've made a pattern, try to go all the way into that corner there. It's not perfect fit, I'll have to fudge it a little bit. So I'm going to do this side, do that side, and then do one for over top of the hump. Now I am going to go on top of the rubber plugs, but I'm not going to go on top of the body bolts. So that's going to be the first spot here. So we're just going to take this. Here's the sheet rolled out. This is a single sheet. You can see here it's got sticky back on it. Go ahead and lay the pattern out, and should be able to get that whole the whole back of the car done. That particular section. Should be able to get all of it done with just this one sheet, maybe not quite. So we'll go ahead and we'll trace that out and get it cut out. Got just the scissors and a razor knife. This is also a roller. It's got some weight to it, and it's just helping you to put it, when you put it down, you go over and roll it just to kind of make sure it's sticky. And also have to clean the surface, so I'm just going to use regular wax and grease remover for that, and go ahead and get it prepped. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it, get it fitted. Make sure that it's coming out all right, and then go ahead and get it cleaned up and get it tacked down. All right, got the piece cut. Unfortunately, I was a dork and I cut it backwards essentially, because obviously the silver part's got to be up. So when I made my pattern, instead of tracing out on the silver, I traced out on the paper, so I flipped it. But I'll just go on the other side and do it on the other side. But it cuts pretty easily. It's like a tarry, if you can kind of see, it's really flexible, but it's obviously sticky, and it's almost like a tar. So it's very similar to the stuff that I pulled off of there, so maybe this technology really hasn't changed all that much. But cuts both with the razor knife and with a pair of scissors very easily, so that's nice. I'll go ahead and get this ready to go, get the area prepped up and cleaned up, and get it ready to tack down. So we got this piece over here ready to go in. Lined it up, fits all right. Got a razor knife with me just in case. So I'll go ahead, peel the sticky back off, and then go ahead, smooth it down with my hand, and then it says to hit it with the roller. And if you can tell how you got this like this diamond pattern on here, the instructions say that you got to get the diamond pattern out of there and get it all flat. And the roller is grooved, so it's going to put a pattern in that as well. But that lets you know that you've got it nice and flat and adhesivated. There's that word again. Everywhere that you want it to be. Now the stuff is pretty pliable. You can see that you've got the couple of those dips in there. All right, happy with that. The roller doesn't get real close to the edge because of the spindle in it, so you just got to watch coming around close to the edge so you don't scratch the paint or whatever. But stuff goes down really easily. It's like I said, it's pretty pliable, so it's not too bad. So I'll knock the other one out here, and then gonna try to use the same piece, scraps from that piece. So I'll probably do 2 pieces over the hump, just to finish that up. So it's a little bit time consuming, a little bit intensive for cutting and measuring and all that kind of stuff, but it's probably the way to go to do it properly. So it's going to be a more than a single visit ordeal, I think, but we'll continue down the path. I know I've said this a bunch of times, but man, I really love this stuff. Looks good. Got the seat here on the passenger side. Now I got to worry about the holes that are in there, right, to make sure that I don't miss any holes. And one other thing was that the depression in the floorboard was so much that it started cracking the silver lining. So I'm sure that the sound deadening stuff is thinned out there. So when I come through to do the other side, what I'll do is I'll cut it a little bit longer and then press in here first to take up the tension, I guess you could say, and then work my way back out. So not too bad. It's going in pretty well. All right, folks, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Starting to look a little bit more and more like a car every day. Now, I may seem like I'm avoiding painting, and that may or may not be true, but here within a week or so, I'm going to get back into it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.